Salutations friends, welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be a top 10 list, and I did this type of list a few months ago and you guys seem to really like it, so I figured now would be a good time to bring it back and do it again. And I'm going to be sharing with you 10 fragrances that I think are fantastic from transitioning from summer into fall. So if you'd like to know my picks, then keep watching. This video initially when we were talking about winter into spring because there's a lot of trends and different types of fragrances that you would wear into winter, and spring is completely different. Now spring to summer, to me, you can kind of wear the same fragrances. They definitely could be one or the other. I have a whiny cat over here, so forgive me. But when it comes down to hot, humid, hot, sunny weather to what are like crisp and cool and slightly chilly, like not just cool but chilly weather, people's tastes in fragrances tend to change, or they get really excited to wear their heavier fragrances, a little bit more spicy or woodsy fragrances, rather than like the freshies and citrus and light fragrances they wore in summer. So these are 10 fragrances that to me are beautifully, work beautifully in the summer and work beautifully in the fall. So they work really well in that transitional time where the weather and season starts to change. From my own collection, and I'm actually not going to get into the notes with these. I'm not, because there's 10 fragrances and I don't want this video to be too long. However, I am going to kind of briefly tell you why I chose them. Now, this isn't in order other than the last three. The last three are going to be a top three. There's not going to be a one, like this is the best one. There's a top three that I recommend above the other 7, but overall these are all great. The first one I want to talk about is from Cinis Labs, and it's Licorice Orange Sandalwood. This is the Eau de Toilette fragrance. This is a beautiful, sweet and leathery, and the sandalwood in here gives this just kind of like a nice depth to it. It's very easy to understand, it's very easy to wear, but the licorice and the sandalwood in here make it really appropriate for cooler weather, and then the orange actually brightens it up and makes it really nice for the summertime. Now, you guys know I have many bottles of perfume, so it's rare for me to make any real dent in fragrances, especially when I only got the bottles a few months ago. But, I mean, I don't know if you can see, but that's a pretty decent dent for me considering I wear a different fragrance every day. I've been wearing this one a lot in the summer, and I've been looking forward to wearing it a lot more as the weather gets cooler. So I would definitely recommend this one. If you're unfamiliar with Cinis Labs, they're from Etsy. They're a fantastic indie brand. I really love their stuff. Check them out. This is the one that I'm actually wearing today, and I love this one so much. And it's Tiempe Passate from Antonias Flowers. Now I have a review of this. If I have a review of any of these fragrances, I will link it below. But what I love most about this is I really like to wear heavier fragrances, but sometimes in the heat and humidity it just doesn't work for me. But this is such a beautiful blend of woods and herbs and florals and musk that even though it's on the heavier side, it worked really well in hot weather, and I did enjoy wearing it. That being said, the beauty of this fragrance is definitely going to be as the season change. As the leaves change, as it starts to get crisper and cooler, I feel like this is going to be a fragrance that's really going to take off and be perfect in the changing and transitioning environment. There's something really sexy and mysterious about this fragrance, but I love the fact that it smells old world. It's very glamorous, but it's a very like daytime glamour. Really enjoy this fragrance. I think this is a beauty to wear in from summer to into fall. It's a newer one to my collection. I got it a few months ago, and it's just perfect. I really like it. It is Black Phantom from by Kilian. Now, the reason why this is on this list is because I kind of wanted to have a variety of different fragrances if you like masculine fragrances, feminine fragrances, fresh fragrances, woodsy fragrances, floral fragrances. This is the gourmand fragrance. Now, to me, gourmands really work in cooler weather. You're thinking about really heavily sweet, syrupy fragrances that just really are very appropriate when the weather is cold. They warm you up. They're just fantastic and beautiful in cooler weather. Sometimes they're a little bit too heavy in summer. But what I like about Black Phantom is the fact that this, although it is a gourmand fragrance, although it does have rum and coffee and just the booze in this. There's something about this that just works in heat. It reminds me, and I keep saying this, it reminds me of a sexy pirate. I know, it's kind of what I would envision a smexy pirate to smell like. But part of that has to do with being out to sea and the sun beating down on you as you're setting the sails. I don't know, I'm really bad at all these analogies, I'm sorry. But there is just something really perfect about this that works really well in heat. It also works really well in cooler weather. I don't know if this is as heavy and as robust enough to maybe be able to be a fantastic winter fragrance. I feel like there's something light and ethereal about it, and that's probably from the sugar cane and the rum, that it might kind of lose a lot of its power in ridiculously cold weather. But I think the weather of summer turning into fall, when it just starts getting a little bit cool, is where this is going to be a real beauty. Next up is a designer fragrance, and this is one I just absolutely love, and it's from Burberry, and it's my Burberry Black. This is such a sexy fragrance, you guys. This is a beautiful daytime fragrance, but it's really great for evening. It's very easy to wear, very easy to understand, but there's something sensual and mysterious and gorgeous about it. I really love Burberry fragrances. I know a lot of people like them, but some people kind of shy away from them. They're a fantastic line of fragrances. They really are. Burberry Brit's one of my favorite just grab-and-go gourmand fragrances. It's really spectacular. And my Burberry Black is another beauty. It's sensual and mysterious and sexy, but it still works really nicely in warmer weather. But this again is going to be absolutely beautiful in slightly cooler, crisp weather that you normally get when you live any place other than Florida in the world. Because it's constantly hot and humid here, I usually wear my summer fragrances year-round. And I wear my winter fragrances whenever it dips below 85 degrees. And the humidity is less than 60%, so very rarely. But this is one that in my crazy hot, humid environment works really, really well, but it's going to be really beautiful, a little bit more sensual. I feel like it's going to be more silky in cooler weather and not as heavy and syrupy as it is in summer weather, but it still works really nicely in the summer as well, which is why I think this is a beautiful transitionary fragrance, especially if you're looking for something that would be professional appropriate, if you're looking for something that you can wear day to evening, if you're looking for a fragrance that's going to get you a lot of compliments. This is definitely one to check out. The next one is from Maison France's Kurkdjian, and it's Baccarat Rouge 540, the Eau de Parfum, not the extrait. And there's a very specific reason for that. I love the extrait. I know some people don't like it, some people don't like the longevity, some people don't think that it's worth spending the extra money on it, and I feel like all of those criticisms are true and valid. For me, I noticed enough of a difference, and I collect Kurkdjian fragrances, so that's why I purchased it, and I absolutely love it. But when it comes down to a transitioning fragrance from summer until fall, I feel like the Eau de Parfum is the best one. First, it's a little bit brighter, it's a little bit lighter to wear on your skin than the extrait. The extrait is definitely heavier and thicker and more syrupy, and this is kind of more candy floss. But there's nothing wrong with that. I feel like that's what adds to this charm, is its crazy sweetness that's balanced out with all of the other notes. The reason why I like this one the best is because it's a little bit lighter on the skin, but it also has really nice longevity and projection. So if a fragrance you're wanting to grab the attention of other people around you in cold or warmer weather, this is definitely going to be a crowd pleaser. On top of it, it's definitely going to be a fragrance that is going to work better in slightly cooler weather. It's going to warm you up, it's going to cheer you up, but as it gets a little bit really cold, like when you get into the winter months, I feel like the beauty of this fragrance might be lost, and that's when you would reach for the extrait. So this one to me I feel works better in hotter weather, warmer weather, more humid weather, and then slightly cooler weather, which is why I think this is a beautiful one to wear from transitioning from summer into fall. It's a fragrance from Martin Micallef, and it is Mon Parfum Cristal. This fragrance, you guys, this fragrance is so beautiful. And I don't see enough people talking about Micallef fragrances, and it makes me really sad because their entire line is breathtaking. And I just discovered them last year, so I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I knew about it. It's been less than a year that I've known about them. But this fragrance is one of the most beautifully delicious fragrances I've ever smelled. It to me smells like an artisanal dessert, like a panna cotta or like a special custard dessert you'd get. Almost reminds me a little bit of Turkish delight. Really, really delicious, really, really sweet, really, really syrupy, but it's still elegant and it's still beautiful. Because it's slightly heavy and slightly, I mean, really heavy on the floral with this one. It is going to work a lot better in cooler months. But the thing is because it's kind of got that light, ethereal, almost tropical sweetness to it, it works really well, kind of like how white florals work in summer months. So I think this is a beautiful fragrance you can wear from summer into fall. Last one from the 7, and then we're going to get into the top 3. And this is from Etat Libre DOrange, and it's like this. This is the, I guess you could consider this like a celebrity fragrance. It's from Tilda Swinton. This is a beautiful, like ginger, really bright and very unisex fragrance. I mean, I'm sitting here and I'm not lost for words at how to describe this fragrance, but the thing is if you haven't smelled this fragrance, I can't really describe it in a really good way other than if you think of how Tilda Swinton might smell, that's that's this. I mean, like this. She smells like this. And there's something I think really interesting about that and really inspiring about that. It's very androgynous. I wouldn't call it unisex, I would call it androgynous. A little bit sweet, but you've got that ginger note. And when people think of ginger, sometimes they might think of ginger candy, but I think of ginger root. I think of the kind of like spicy ginger, like beer or candy that hits the back of your throat that's sometimes too hard to consume, but you still consume it because it's delicious. It's kind of got that little bit of bite in it. Just in the background, and there's kind of like an herbal, almost curry note to this. I forget if this is the fragrance that has curry in it. I know that at least one of their fragrances have it. I think Remarkable People has it too. But this kind of smells somewhat curryish. If I am wrong, please correct me. But there's just something about this fragrance that is so ridiculously gorgeous. And I love it. I love that it's androgynous and not unisex. I love that it has this really nice balance of spiced and sweet and burning, but not in any way that's overpowering. It just makes this a very complex, beautiful little fragrance that works really well in heat, and it also works really well in cool weather. So yeah, like this is definitely one I would recommend. Right, enough of me babbling because that's what I figure I do in all my videos. Let's get to the top 3. Now this is in no particular order. These 3 are the 3 I recommend above the others. These are all unisex fragrances. These are all beautiful fragrances you can wear in the daytime or wear in the evening. They are all work appropriate. And at the same time, there's something really special about each one of these, while still being really easy to understand. Some of the other ones you might not be work appropriate. They might be more evening, they might be more daytime, they might be for gourmand people, they might be for floral people or musky people. Every single one of these top 3, I think, are crowd pleasers and will work well in just about any environment. So if you were looking for one fragrance, I recommend these 3 above the others, but I did kind of want to talk about 10. So the first one is Oud Wood from Tom Ford. This is a beautiful, beautiful fragrance. I just added this to my collection, so you will see this in the next haul I have. But this has been, I have sampled this, I've had decants of this, I've gone through so many carded samples of this, it was ridiculous, and I was finally like, time to get it. I need this in my life. It's such a beautiful, perfect fragrance. It's got this beautiful balance of this mysterious oud, but it's still wearable. And oud is one of those notes that a lot of people really love and enjoy. I mean, I'm absolutely obsessed with oud, but it's kind of hard for other people to understand and almost stomach, especially if it's really, really strong. Oud's one of those fragrances that's definitely can be overpowering. What I like about this one is just how perfectly well balanced this is, and it works well in daytime, it works well in evening. You can dress it up, you can dress it down. It's just a really versatile, beautiful fragrance that I think would work well in summer and winter months. Next up, I'm not even going to edit this part, you're just going to see the side of my head, is from Le Labo, and it is Rose 31. I did a review on this fragrance, I'll link it below. This is a beautiful, slightly spiced, peppery, woodsy rose, and the beautiful blend of all the different notes in this definitely make this appropriate for evening or evening. This is another fragrance you could dress up or you could dress down. What I like most about this fragrance is the fact that you get a lot of compliments with this, but it's also recognizable. Usually when people think of Le Labo, they think of Santal 33, Rose 31, and the Bergamot fragrance. So this is definitely one that people who are just getting into fragrances or just getting into niche fragrances have probably experienced. So if you get complimented on this, don't be surprised if it's from a budding frag head. But most of the time, this is just a beautiful fragrance that is easy to wear. It's perfect in professional environments and works well in pretty much just about any environment. So if it's cool, if it's hot, if it's humid, if it's dry, if it's night or if it's day, it doesn't matter. This is a great fragrance to add to your collection if you're looking for one that's going to be able to be worn a lot in different settings. I definitely recommend this as a transitionary fragrance from summer to fall, or a fall fragrance in general. And last and certainly not least is one of my new favorite fragrances just in general, and it's from Histoires de Parfums, and this is 1899 Ernest Hemingway. Now, the reason why this one made it to the top 3 is, again, like the others, you can dress this fragrance up, you can dress this fragrance down, you can really do just about anything with this. It's professional appropriate. You can wear this to work, school, class, you could wear this to an interview, you could wear this on a date, you could wear this out if you wanted to make an impression. You really can do whatever you want with this fragrance. The best way to describe this fragrance, and I keep mentioning it, but a lot of people have experience with these two fragrances, which is why I like to keep going back to it, is it reminds me of all the best elements of Spice Bomb from Victor and Rolf, and all the best elements from By the Fireplace from Mace and Margiela. If you kind of threw them together and you made a beautiful little baby, it would be Ernest Hemingway. This is just a beautiful, sexy fragrance, you guys. I cannot get enough of this fragrance. I've considered getting the purse size to carry with me. Love, love, love this fragrance. It works very well. It's spiced and somewhat creamy. It's cool and crisp, but also warm. And there's like a bit of a nuttiness in the background, which is really, really nice. And there's just like nice woodsy balance. The notes in this, and I'm just going to let you guys know the notes because this is, again, one of my favorite fragrance. You've got orange blossom, iris, vetiver, vanilla, amber, and bergamot. So you've really got a lot of different notes that you would think would be competing with each other, but actually come together to create a really beautiful fragrance. So definitely think this one would be very perfect for warmer months and cooler months. And also, again, you can wear this and do pretty much whatever you want with this. This video is a little bit longer than I want it to be, so thank you guys if you sat all the way through. These are all fragrances I've chosen from my own collection, so I didn't want to mention anything that wasn't a part of my collection because these are all the ones I have the most experience with. So I'm definitely choosing ones from my collection that I love and that I definitely recommend. But as always, guys, I would love to know what you think. What fragrances do you think work really well in summer and slightly cooler months that you could reach for in the next month or two as we transition from the hot, sunny summer into the beautiful, crisp, and cool, for other people other than me, autumn months? If you guys don't know how it is with Florida, we have maybe, if we are lucky, 2 weeks out of the year where it's like below 75 degrees. If we're lucky. And if we're very lucky, like if we're super duper lucky, then those 2 weeks will be consecutive. Usually it's like 2 days here and then it's I think last year Christmas was 95 degrees, yeah. And you say, oh, but it's so sunny all the time. Yeah, but sometimes you want, like with Christmas and all the Christmas decorations with like the snowman and the, you know, Santa Claus, you want not 90. Can we do 80? Can we do 80? I don't know. So these are my recommendations based on my environment and based on my experience and things that I think are going to work really well generally overall, but I would love to know which ones you guys like, so let me know in the comment section below. If you guys think any of these are wrong, if I've mistalked about any of these, I know some of them I maybe mentioned notes that were incorrect, please let me know. Feel free to correct me. I'm always okay with being correct, but I would definitely like to know what you guys think of these fragrances, so let me know in the comment section below. As always, guys, if you like these videos and these fragrance lists and just fragrance reviews in general, remember to give this video a thumbs up. It lets me know to continue doing videos like this, and also don't forget to subscribe because it's free and I'm free and I put out new videos, and I put out new videos every Monday through Friday and sometimes on the weekends as well, so I always have something for you to watch. In any case, I hope you guys are all happy and healthy. Have a great day, month, year, whatever, and I'll see you next time. Bye!